Alright, so this is the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament. This is week 55. We're going to get the chat bans going down in just a moment here. Guys, on the Twitch channel, we have some RP to give away this week. I actually don't know who our donors are. Maybe I will find out between this game and the next. But if you want to win that RP, it's two $10 RP that we're going to give out. That sentence was horrible, but hopefully you know what I mean. And you have to be following the Twitch channel. If you're not following the Twitch channel, you can't win the RP. I'm just saying. So make sure you're following the Twitch channel because there are other streams that go on during the week. Dominate Dominion's owner, the Feedski, streams his own gameplay sometimes. NixA7 will stream. And just we'll have other people on behind the camera playing some games for you guys. This is a free tournament. Happens every week. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to bring your friends, register for the tournament, come out and play. Looks like the chat bans are getting finished up. We'll talk about them in just a moment. If someone wants to copy-paste them into the chat.
I just did.
There we go. That's what's up. And, yeah, we got other streams during the week. Dominate Dominion on Facebook, facebook.com/DominateDominion. Give them a like over there. Dominate Dominion's Twitter is @DominateDom. And they have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/DominateDominion. And yes, Carillion, I am ready. We can go ahead and get this game rolling here. I forgot to turn on my in-game music sound again, I think. So, look at these little badges! Little badges!
Oh, you might want to do summer blockers.
On the side.
Summer blockers.
Oh man, someone was actually able to remind me about that. So, in an effort to keep the mic poofing down, this is going to sound really weird, but try and talk downward, if that makes any sense. That's kind of an abstract thing, but...
Okay.
Or sideways or something like that, to try and minimize it a little bit. And
is this working better?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay.
And Rayman, the way with the summoner blockers works is if you see the first person's spells are fine, but if someone locks in before the blockers are up, that's the way it works. Now, back to the game here. It looks like our chat bans, Chaosos, they were Kha'Zix, Kassadin, Jace, and Nidalee. And I'll take the first two. You can take the second two. Kassadin and Kha'Zix, they're both capable of similar things, just one of them is far more horrifying than the other. Actually, they're both equally horrifying in completely different ways. Kha'Zix and Kassadin can both jump over walls. Kha'Zix can jump over some walls that Kassadin can't. Kassadin can jump over more walls. Kha'Zix can deal a lot of damage up front. Kassadin can live long enough to deal a lot of damage. Kha'Zix can escape. Kassadin can escape more often. Kha'Zix, easier to kill, more likely to kill you. Kassadin, harder to kill, more likely to run away and harass someone else. Both awful champions to deal with. They're both difficult to counter. It's easier to just ban both of them than it is to have to deal with them. Now, why don't you tell us why Jace and Nidalee are getting kicked out?
Yeah, so Jace, that hyper-scaling monster that has amazing poke. He just does so much physical damage. Summer's Rift teams like him because he has really strong poke. His Q, when put through his Shock Blast, when put through his acceleration gate, goes out really far for a pretty large AoE if it hits, and does a lot of physical damage. However, Dominion players have also figured out that if you build, say, an Infinity Edge, then his W, which amplifies all physical damage done by his next 3 auto attacks by 130%, will just do an insane amount of damage, especially if you get one of those massive damage Infinity Edge crits. Nidalee has really strong ranged poke. Her spears just can absolutely chunk you, and then she provides a lot of jungle control with the 12-second reveal and Glassify provided by her traps. And then her Cougar, of course, is very effective at dueling and being slippery. Do you want to take
I'll
normal bans?
I'll switch over to the I'll talk about the other ones here in just a second. I'm just trying to figure out how to solve this mic thing because I don't know what to do short of like taping a napkin around it. Like, I don't know. Now look at the other bands here. We've got Amumu, Lulu, and Timu. Timu. Alright. Now, Amumu, great AoE damage. It's very good. He, I can't put it any better than that. He has great AoE damage. It's very good. He has a stun, which he can... Well, It's a stun, man. Mumu explains himself. His AoE damage is great. He has a stun and a wide radius snare. Great character. Use him or ban him. Lulu. Fast character, great slow, health increase, AoE airborne, damage shield. Annoying. Teemo. Fast, map control, blinds. Mad crazy damage, scary. There you go. Then we got at least Wukong and Jax over there.
Yeah, I got these guys. Elite. How's this? Mic-wise.
I can hear it.
Okay, cool. Anyways, Elise does very solid damage. She usually tends to build pretty tanky since most of her damage comes from her bases, and then she can be incredibly mobile with the strength of repel. Does well top or bottom. Wukong, devastating AoE ultimate that can easily slack back for an entire team, and then he's just a very strong duelist with the damage output of his Q and the attack speed boost from his gap closer E, and then of course the ridiculousness of decoy jukes. Jax can be very, very terrifying because in the smaller team fights of Dominion, it's a lot harder to just burst him down, and then also he puts out a lot of sustained damage. Then, looking at the regular champion picks, do you want to run down them?
Yeah! Let's go ahead and handle some of these here.
That's Zyra.
Looking at that Zyra pick, Zyra is a great champion for zoning. She can deal a lot of damage, she has a lot of AoE potential. Really good at multiple target interrupts, really good at multiple target DPS. Good character. Golly on Urgot. Urgot, good long range 80 carry. He has durability, which a lot of other 80 carries don't. I actually don't know what 80 carry even means. I just take it to be a ranged character that does a bunch of damage, and Urgot definitely does that. Terra Capacitor is like, bam, you thought you were going to harass me? No, actually I don't take any damage at all, and you just waste a bunch of mana. Well, I guess I kind of wasted some mana too, but I'm alive, and that's important. And he's got a position reverser, because why not suppress people? It's really good to have handy. Basically, the thing about Urgot is Urgot can sit back and shoot and stay safe while doing it, and that's a hard thing to have. Other characters like Ashe, Vayne, Ezreal, they tend to go splat. If you catch Urgot, you have to beat him up for a while before he goes back to the summoner platform, because he just doesn't like to quit. So, if you like Urgot, man, he's definitely a great character to pick in this game mode. We have Sejuani, who is very piggy, and has a mace, and is from Freylord. That's an accurate summary of what she has. I'm kidding. She has an AoE airborne now? Is that correct, that it's an AoE airborne?
Sejuani?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a single target. It's the
single
AoE is
target.
from minions.
Single target airborne there, and good initiate. She also has a lot of health like she used to have, and she has that nice, it's a tight radius AoE stun, but it's pretty solid. She's a good character. She's got a nice, usable, spammable interrupt now, and I think that change is pretty awesome. This is on the North American server. Europe West has a tournament that happens tomorrow, so if you know any players over there, the 4 Players Liga tournament is where you can find some Dominion gameplay on Europe West. But this is DominateDominion.com's League of Legends Dominion tournament over here on North America. And look at Darius there. Darius is true damage. Man, he will just kill you. He doesn't care that you have a Thorn Mail and a Frozen Heart into a Randuin's Omen. He's just like, oh, that's awesome. Hey, you know what? I have true damage. And the other guy's like, oh, you're right. I guess I'll just go back to the summoner platform. That's basically how that works. Darius is a durable character. He's got a lot of natural armor pen. He's a little bit slow. He's very vulnerable to being kited, but he can really dish out the hurt if he stays around for a while. So, he's a good character to have around, but you do have to be aware of your positioning because he has to walk at people angrily and hope he gets to them. And if you can stop Darius from doing that, then you will be okay. And then lastly, we have Nyx87 with Kayle there. Kayle gets frightening later on in the game. Kayle is very easy to kill. That's just plain it. You can kill Kayle. She can just die. It's horrifying. Kayle can ult herself and then still splat. And that's basically how it works. However, if Kale comes into the team fight from the side with Righteous Fury up and gets a few swings off, your whole team is screwed. Because the shred, the damage, it's like, hey, let's take a farmed up Ashe or Vayne, but actually make their damage an AoE instead. That's what Kale is, and that's very frightening. So, Kale is a character that can get extremely carried away later on in the game. However, earlier, so-so.
Yep. Okay. Quickly running down the right-hand team, the purple team. We have Lee Sin. Lee Sin is probably going... Lee Sin or Morgana will be the bot laners for this team. Lee Sin has a lot of mobility. He provides a lot of early game strength. Although he does tend to fall off later in the game, I do find. But that doesn't change the fact that he has a very solid execution on the second cast of his Q. He can be incredibly slippery with his safeguard. And then his ult can provide a lot of teamfight disruption with the knockback and knockup it can provide. Jarvan has a lot of gap closing. He has 2 gap closers plus a separate slow. It can be very hard to get away from him, especially considering that he's carrying exhaust this game. He can do, and then just in general, he can do a lot of damage to people with that armor shred. You can build tanky to be just sort of a straight up initiator. However, with this team comp, since they have Leona, Jarvan will probably be building more on the damage side. Leona is a very strong initiator. She has both her ultimate solar flare for a long range stun, and then she also has her Q and her E. Very tanky, very durable, very hard to get away from with how much CC she provides. Her damage in a one-on-one duel, it can be lacking sometimes. However, it's because most of her base damage on her spells is tied up in her passive procs. So if she has a friend, her damage output actually increases very significantly. Fizz can be a very slippery AP assassin. His main goal in this game is going to be shutting down Zyra before Zyra can just AoE the entire purple team. And then Morgana is the other option for the bot laner. She can be very hard to gank due to the strength of her black shield, and then she can just, if things go horribly for her, she can just stall out with the range and damage of her pool. But if things are going well for her, the amount of burst that she can provide from her Q and her ultimate can be incredibly strong. And then of course her ult provides a lot of crowd control. That can be hard to deal with.
Alright, we will kick over to the game screen in just a moment here. And guys, we will check into audio stuff in between games. Gonna have to wing it for this current one here, and can we get the screen up? Where's my game client? No, come on, game client. I have to run League in full screen, so everything flickers when it minimizes, unminimizes, but I have it on the screen now for you guys. This is the round of 16 game here. This is going to be... I need to look at the bracket. Haha, just kidding, guys.
Is this Dominionation versus Project Rage Quit?
Yes. It is that, indeed, sir.
Yes.
You do have it right. Stop with the full screen flicker! Ah! Okay, there we go. Alright, Dominionation is going to be the team on the top half of this loading screen here. This is the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 55, round 16 game. For Dominionation, we have Carillion playing as Zyra, Gali playing as Urgot, Sakuri Ono playing as Sejuani, War Leader playing as Darius, and Nix87 playing as Kale. One half of your casters for this game. Casting with me is
Chaosos. And running down the purple team, we have Gung Ho Gun Lion on Lee Sin, Man on Jarvan, Dracozen on Leona, Fairy Falcon as Fizz, and C Sharp Miner as Morgana. Looking at the at where people are positioning and looking at the summoner spells, we will be noting that Carillion is currently carrying Clairvoyance. So the purple team needs to be careful. The purple or red team needs to be careful of making sure that that whatever they do, if they try to do something tricky, Clairvoyance could catch them in whatever they're doing and completely reveal their entire strategy, which is right now why the entire purple team is stacking up on the bot side of their Summoners platform, not to give away who their bot laner is before they have to.
Alright, looks like the game is going to start right here, guys. Guys, I want you to post in the chat, which champion do you think is going to be the first one to die? Your options are Fizz, Leona, Lee Sin, Morgana, Darius, Piggy, Zyra, or Urgot. So I want to see in the chat. We'll see who's right as it goes on here. Lee Sin scoping things out in the middle. Uh-oh, they're going to come from behind right here. Dark Binding does not connect. Shockwave does not connect either. So they are able to get up to the top of the map first. And they really don't get anything for that. Urgot lands a little bit of damage. It's that Acid Hunter going down. There's that range from Urgot right there. If he's able to connect with that Corrosive Charge. Uh-oh, Leona going in right there. Lots of damage on her right away, getting quickly down in health, and uh-oh, she gets a free trip back to the Summoner platform. Leona is going to be the first one to go down, and now it looks like Fizz is going to follow shortly thereafter. No, he's just barely going to be able to get back away from that fight. Comes right back in, gets the kill on Darius right there, dies in the exchange though. He pops his revive, he is on his way back up to the top right away. Now, is Leona going to get here in time to interrupt this? We will see. Barely intercepting Sekuriono before he is able to turn that point around.
Yeah, Morgana landing the Dark Binding. I'll just note that I was completely wrong with the bot lane. It is Jarvan versus Kale in the bot lane.
And Sekuriono getting taken down up here at the top. Darius is driving Morgana out of the fight point, still neutral up here. Now, Kerillian and Gali are both characters with a lot of range, and they can delay for a really long time, though. Darius seems to have Fizz under control. Nope, Urgot takes the kill instead. And now Lee Sin, please, Lee Sin, that's not safe. They can see him, he can't see them. He gets airborned, and everything bad happens to him at once.
Yeah, looking at this bot lane, both players' exhausts are down. Nyx is trying to camp up by the Speed Shrine. Both went for a hard engage and both lost a lot of life. Nyx trying to do something sneaky, waiting for Man to get back and gets the neutralize.
That's a very neat little play right there. That's cute. I like it. He's going to get the full cap on this, too. That's pretty awesome. Nyx A7, free tower right there. If he wants to, he can even contest that a little bit. Keep that as a... There we go. There's the Reckoning right now. But now, things don't look so good for him.
Nicely dodging. Or nicely missing by Man.
Skips the Dark Binding, too. Able to fly around. Does a little bit of poke there. Throws down the Invincible. Dives back onto the tower. A little bit of damage right there. Nope, J4 boxes Kale in. Kale, you're grounded. Go home.
Top fight. Darius just doing a lot of damage with that ultimate. Oh, and the neutralize even on that turret. So this is not looking good for a purple team right now.
No, unfortunately, it is not. And now Leona getting low on health again here. Darius looking for it. Gets it with the Decimate there. C-Sharp Miner's Morgana taking some hits. Black Shield won't really protect you from that AA damage from Urgot. Fizz wants to get that kill, but he doesn't really have any mana. He's also snared and airborne and dead. Which is also not a good thing. Lee Sin going to try and defend this tower by himself, but he just doesn't quite have the ability to get across it to interrupt the other champions and prevent the cap. And Morgana by herself against 3 champions, I don't like that odds, so she is very wisely retreating there. Gonna throw down the Dark Binding, stop Gali's Urgot, gonna heal, regroup with her allies, and probably go back for that. Leona making her presence known here, making them afraid to try and push out or go anywhere. Looks like she's gonna drive them further away just by being there. Just gonna buy her more time. It looks like they're just gonna let that point go now. They know that after everyone's healed, everyone's back, they aren't gonna be able to hold that. But it did give them a pretty nice lead there early on in the game.
Yeah. But Sejuani coming in for the bot lane gank for a second. What I really like is the Darius pick actually, because Leona relies on being really tanky through having so many free resists on her W, but Darius ignores all that because he has so much mixed damage, and then true damage just ignores all the resist that Leona can get from being tanky. And so Darius will be very effective against there, especially since Leona has to get into melee with him.
Ooh, Lee Sin trying to get this tower up here at the top, and Zyra just barely able to interrupt that right there. Throws down the ult before she dies, which is good. Defensive Garrison's going to heal the tower up a little bit. Urgot picks up a double kill. Is Gali going to go for the triple up here? Is he going to be able to pick off Fizz? We're going to find out. Nope, does not connect with that Acid Hunter right there. unfortunately. Doesn't connect with Morgana either. Looks like he's not going to get that quad. He gets a honorary triple kill.
Yeah.
But that's
I don't think that counts.
No.
Yeah, bot lane, both players very low. It's very much a hard engage style where Jarvan just jumps on Kayle and both beat on each other for a while.
And Kayle, if I'm not mistaken, Kayle is like, where's J4? No? Okay, come back down here, J4. Alright, no, Kayle is not, Kayle and J4 are pretty even in gold. No significant difference there. Only when you get to a 500 gold gap, that's when you start seeing item advantage and things like that. Morgana looking around, she doesn't find anything. She looks
trying to find her sister.
She looks kind of like a snail, actually, with that skin. It's a little awkward. Fizz down there, babysitting the bottom lane so Jarvan can go back. Now with two people down here in the bottom, that's going to leave for a really imbalanced fight up at the top. Now, in the middle of the map right here, Dominionation is just kind of hanging out. They're using the sweeper. They're slowly advancing. They're making sure to control the jungle here. They're going to catch Leona, and that's not good. Leona gonna get killed by Golly right there. Golly with the legendary. And Glacial Prison there on Lee Sin. He gets taken down. Are they gonna Pac-Man their way through J4 too? We are going to find out. Morgana has come up here to the drill now to help out in the defense. Golly picks up another kill. Golly racking them up, running 9-0 so far this game. Fizz coming up to the top now. J4 is back. And Sakuriono, nope, gonna escape that stun. So does War Leader. And now Golly coming down. Oh, Fizz jumps right out of the way of that. He did not want any of what Urgot had to dish out.
One dunk. And no dunk.
He's dunkless now. And this doesn't look good for Golly. I don't know if Golly can DPS his way out of this situation.
That turret's going to do a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, he has to fight under it. He doesn't have any mana right now. He needs to get that interrupt on Morgana, but he's not going to get it right now. And he's going to drop a little bit of damage right there. Oh, I'm scared for you, Leona. That's an Urgot. Oh, lands the Acid Hunter. Is Golly going to be able to pull this off here? He might be able to get more. No?
No, he's
going
not.
to try and go for the cap, keep it a little bit more neutral. Uh-oh, Fizz is there now, and that's not good time. Sejuani is coming down here to try and help Urgot out, and she's going to pick it right on over, get him with the airborne there. Golly still takes some damage. The ult is on Sakuriono, not Urgot, which is going to enable Urgot to get away and preserve his I haven't died once during this game.
Yep. Yeah, that's the main advantage of Urgot, is he's just so safe. Trying to do something. I'll just note though that the Black Shield is actually really effective against things like Darius Pull or the slow from Urgot's shield, because since it's all since the blue team does not have all that much magic damage to be popping that Black Shield.
In the bottom lane, Kayle has pushed the minions up against J4 and has started to take some shots at him with the Righteous Fury. Nyx, nope, might go for the dive. Nope, doesn't want any of it. Fizz is down there as well. Things might go bad for Nyx in the near future here as Fizz circles around down towards the bottom. Darius gets a grab on Leona and Lee, but just up above that, they have caught Morgana out. She's going for the stun right there. Only able to land it on Sejuani, unfortunately. Lee Sin gets taken down. Nice airborne by Zyra right there. Zyra being able to pick up the double. There are some minions up here at the top, but it looks like not going to be enough to pull a neutral. Fizz down the bottom. Is he going to connect with Nyx? Yes, he is. Good gank down there. Nyx does has revive. He is going to pop that. Head straight right on back there. Look at that speedy Kayle. Look at the little graphic effect right there. And 3, 2, 1. No, still neutral. Uh-oh, that's not good. Invincible stops the airborne from Fizz right there. And J4 going to beat up on him a little bit. And I don't know if Nyx can Nyx 2v1? Can Nyx 2v1? He's exhausted now.
Oh,
and
no,
that's what's going to seal the deal for them. Now, Pika Sejuani from Sakuriono going to come down here and stop them from getting that quest objective point.
I think if she wasn't exhausted, she would have gone that. She would have gone to 2v1. But that exhaust shut down her damage, so it took too long for it to get Jarvan, which meant Jarvan got that extra spell damage out, which meant that Jarvan was going to live.
Yep. They did manage to pick up the drill at some point. Golly also managed to pick up another kill at some point. Krillian CCing Leona down there. Uh-oh, Lee Sin comes in. The tower doesn't like it, though, and that's a lot of people in there. Golly finally going to get killed and get himself a free trip back to the Summoner platform. But Still a very impressive run from him so far this game. Urgot has been doing a very good job of surviving, and that's something that Urgot is good at. Like you said, Chaosos, Urgot is a very safe, ranged AD character to have in this game mode, where normally if an AD gets caught, they get killed. But Urgot, not so easy to do.
No, and his dueling's really strong because of how much free resist his ult gives him. Sakuriona's ult just whiffing there. But doesn't matter. There's just too much tankiness and damage. But I will note though that Jarvan's diving hard on Kale bottom. Barely dies. Almost got that kill. But it doesn't matter though. No matter how decisive Jarvan's victories are, the blue team is absolutely annihilating the purple top, and so it really doesn't matter how well Jarvan does at this point. Kale can probably survive long enough for him to get back. Neutralize does come out.
Now it's a little bit of an icky situation. Fizz with a good playful trickster right there, going to prolong his life just a little bit there. Unfortunately, he is going to get taken down. Looks like Morg, nope, not quite able to connect with Sakuriono to take him down though. And Lee Sin coming out to help. And oh, there's a dark binding to the face. Piggy, get off of Sejuani. She can't breathe. That's not very safe. And the game is going to end with a rather decisive 5-cap right there. Dominionation, very good job that game.
Yeah, what happened there at the bomb is Jarvan died without a revive up, and Kale was able to cross the map fast enough to get that cap.
Now let's take a look at the post-game screen right here. And then let me find out if we're doing the RP, if we're going to throw out some RP to you guys this game, or if we're going to throw it out in the next game. Everyone likes to see damage dealt to champions. Zyra, like paving the way to glory right there. And
yeah,
people
I think
also
the
like
biggest
to see death.
I think the biggest impact was like the Sejuani ult was nice for the initiation, but what Sejuani really set up though was that her permafrost, her E, would slow everybody enough that Zyra could land a 4-person ult and then knock everybody up, which just completely shut down the purple team's ability to crank out damage or just really do what they want to in team fights.